Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am back at it again with the podcast this week. I was gonna do this earlier in the week, but I've been feeling sick, so I just haven't been up to doing anything. The way my schedule's set up this week or this semester, I have no classes Tuesdays or Thursdays, and I literally went to the gym. I'm recording this Wednesday night, and I should have done it Monday, but it's a long story why I didn't do it Monday. I was busy with club stuff, but Tuesday I came home from the gym and I was just watching Netflix and I slept through half of an episode of a show I was watching, and I woke up and I was like, I don't remember being at this part in this episode. And I just kept sleeping on and off during the day, and I woke up today and I was going to get up and record it this morning at 6 a.m. And when I woke up, I just felt so bad. And I had all 5 of my classes today. So I literally I couldn't do anything. I slept another hour and a half. I turned off my alarm and set it for 7:30. Well, actually, I set it for 7:20 or 7 o'clock or something like that. To get up, just to get showered and feel better and stuff. And I closed my eyes and opened my eyes and woke up and I was like, dude, that felt like a minute. It didn't even, I don't even remember falling asleep after closing my eyes. That's how tired I was. And I've just been running around all day doing stuff. Alright, but this one's just going to be straight news because I really don't feel good. And Alan is doing something. I don't know what he's doing. So, the first piece of news we have is that Hulu has ordered a Runaways series. And Runaways is basically it's a Marvel comic. It's a drama series of some sort. It follows a group of teenagers who are children of, what's the word? It's children of supervillains. And their parents are all part of this big evil crime organization, so they run away, hence the name Runaways. And they unite against the common foe of their parents. So I think it'll be pretty interesting. It's definitely going to be for a younger audience, I think, which will be good because Marvel doesn't really have anything for that younger audience right now that's live action. They just have the animated stuff like Ultimate Spider-Man, Avengers Assemble, and Guardians of the Galaxy. And I know Ultimate Spider-Man is a good show. Avengers Assemble, it's kind of good. I watched the first 2 seasons on Netflix. I enjoyed season 1, I think, more than I did season 2. But Ultimate Spider-Man is definitely a must-watch for any fan of Marvel anything. It's really well written. I'm pretty sure each episode is written by Brian Michael Bendis, who wrote all of Ultimate Spider-Man. So I was just taking a drink there. But yeah, so Brian Michael Bendis wrote the entire Ultimate Spider-Man run that lasted 14 something years or 15 years. It was a ridiculously long run to be writing one character. But yeah, so I completely lost track of what I was... Ultimate Spider-Man is a must-watch for any fan of Marvel, anything. The voice acting is really well done, too. Drake Bell voices Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and let me just tell you, he sounds a lot like a good old Spider-Man. Okay, so the next piece of news is that Andrew Kreisberg, who is the executive producer of The Flash on CW, in case you don't know about The Flash TV show, it's one of the best TV shows on right now. Superhero-wise, I tend to stick to that, but there's also other shows I like too. I find Arrow's more less superhero, more crime fighter. And then there's other shows on and off that I'll watch on Netflix and stuff, but besides that, Flash is amazing. some of the best television I've seen, besides the fact that they pretty much use the exact same like type of villain 2 seasons in a row. What are you doing, Flash? What are you doing? But Andrew Kreisberg said that Teddy Sears, who played Zoom in season 2, would return as, and this is a spoiler alert for anybody who has not finished season 2, the Black Flash. And for people who aren't familiar with who the Black Flash is, he's basically Death, but for people who are connected to the Speed Force. And just because that's what he is in the comics doesn't mean that that's what he'll be in the show. But most of the time they tried to keep the characters like that when they're doing the TV shows and stuff. But what I was going to say about Black Flash is at the end of the finale, and this is where the spoilers come in. Let me state that. Spoiler alert right here. At the end of the finale of season 2 of The Flash, they had these, I think they're called time wraiths. I think that's what they called them in the show. They basically came for Barry Allen because he went back in time to get a version of himself to stop something from happening with this race that he and Zoom were running or something. It was really weird. It was a really weird finale. But yeah. And when the time wraiths came for Barry, they took Zoom instead because Zoom had purposely killed himself from an earlier time. So they took him, and when they were taking him, they basically turned him into the Black Flash. So yeah, that's cool. Next bit of news is about Supergirl. And I don't know if you've seen the show Supergirl, but it's decent. I wouldn't say it's bad. I mean, I think it definitely should not have premiered on CBS, but it's good. It's watchable television. But Linda Carter, who starred as Wonder Woman, and I believe she also starred as the President in Sky High. Not the President, the Principal in Sky High, the person who could make comets or something. I don't know what her powers were in that. But she's going to be playing the President of the United States in Supergirl. So that's crazy. I mean, maybe she'll be Wonder Woman, but just in this little Supergirl universe. I don't know. I think that would be really cool, but it's literally all up to what they decide to do with the character. I don't think they've given her a name yet. I think she's just the President. I'm not entirely sure. But real quick, I just remembered this. Gene Wilder died yesterday or today. So my memory is really, really bad. I could not even tell you what I learned in my last class today. It was something about coal. That's all I remember about it. But Gene Wilder died this week. Tremendous actor. Young Frankenstein, obviously most well known for being Willy Wonka in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And my roommate actually pointed this out to me yesterday, or today, or last. My roommate pointed this out to me in the last few days. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the story is pretty much all about Charlie. And then in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the Tim Burton remake / reboot, the story's all about Willy Wonka. So there's a nice little twist there. Although Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was a terrible movie, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is an amazing... I'm pretty sure that's the way it goes. Let me look it up real quick. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Yep, that's the one with Gene Wilder starring. But, yeah, he was also in Blazing Saddles, and he was just, those are probably his 3 biggest known roles, and he was just hilarious. He was a fantastic actor. I haven't seen any of the later stuff that he's done, but I've heard it's also really good. And I believe it was his niece came out and said that he was suffering with Alzheimer's, but it never got so far that he forgot all of the people that were really close to him. He remembered all of them, and they didn't want to come out publicly about it because they didn't want children to see him and think of him not as, like, see him and go, oh, it's Willy Wonka. But then, because it's been out that he has Alzheimer's, they didn't want, like, those two things to cross. Because they didn't want kids coming up to him and being like, oh, it's Willy Wonka, and him not remembering what Willy Wonka was. Which is why, I guess, they just never... It was a really weird way to state it, but, it's just a moment of silence for Gene Wilder. Give it a few seconds here. Okay, now let's get back into the news. We're at 11 minutes and 20 seconds. Bam, right on the dot. I said it right on the dot, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so according to the Hollywood Reporter, Michael Pena has officially been confirmed to be returning to Ant-Man and the Wasp. Oh my god. Hang on, let me turn my phone on Do Not Disturb real quick. Sorry. This group chat I'm in, people are arguing all the time. So, anyway, back to the news. Oh, my roommate just got home. He slammed that door real loud, dude. Right. Michael Pena is coming back to Ant-Man and the Wasp. But, like, I guess since it's not going to be a heist movie, what part is he going to play? Like, because he's not going to have that heist, it's not going to have the heist aspect, I don't think. So, it's going to be confusing what type of role Luis is going to play. Like, is he just going to be their sidekick? Is he going to be... I don't think there's really a role he can play besides being Scott's friend. Because he really only came in the heist. I mean, don't get me wrong, Michael Pena is a great actor. Like a freaking amazing actor, dude. He's been going since, I think it's the 80s, and every single role he's in, he kills it. Just in the last few years, End of Watch, Ant-Man, Fury, and The Martian. Killed it in every single role. He stole the show. But the main person I want to come back is that weird Russian dude who doesn't actually have a Russian accent. Because that accent was hilarious. Oh, it was so great. If him and T.I. could come back, I think that would be the greatest thing. Like, because T.I. didn't do anything, and he was just there to be like, yeah, I'm T.I. I'm just here chilling. What's up? But anyway, on to the next piece of news. So, Vin Diesel basically doesn't care about his non-disclosure agreements at all. The dude came out on Facebook Live this past week and was just like, yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy are going to be in Avengers Infinity War. So there you go. There's just confirmed. The movie hasn't even started shooting yet or anything. But Vin Diesel, he doesn't care. He does not care about anything. He came out and said stuff about Fast 8, and alright, Vin Diesel. All for his Facebook fans. Anyway, guys, the next piece of news that we have here is from The Rock on his Instagram account, aka his personal ad service, where he just promotes whatever he wants and it blows up. I mean, I personally want that sweat, blood, respect, or whatever it says on the Under Armour shirt. I can't remember because I haven't seen it, but it looks so cool. I love Under Armour, dude. I wish I had Under Armour. Sweet running shoes. Get Under Armour to sponsor the podcast. I'll start a new podcast specifically about exercise and health and wellness. And then we can get Under Armour to sponsor. I like that. I like that. Oh my god. Okay, so The Rock came out and said that the Jumanji quote-unquote reboot is not actually a reboot, but it's going to be a continuation of the original Jumanji story. And he and Kevin Hart kind of went back and forth. Kevin Hart called him out or something on Instagram, and The Rock came back and was like, Jack Black's my friend. He's not your friend. You can't be in on this friendship, Kevin Hart. And their relationship is hilarious. If you have not seen, I think it was the LA Times had a video of the two of them impersonating each other and interviewing each other's impersonations. So Kevin Hart was The Rock interviewing The Rock as Kevin Hart. It was so funny. It's one of the funniest bits I've seen in a while. But yeah, he basically just said it's going to be a continuation of the Jumanji story. It says here that it's opening July 28th, 2017. I don't think they've started shooting this movie yet. And it's what's today's date? It's the 31st, so it's a good 11 months away. You better get on that, Rock. Come on. Okay, the next piece of news is Bad Boys 3. The official title for it is Bad Boys for Life. Yeah, so I don't know why you would do that. I don't know why you would call it Bad Boys for Life if it's Bad Boys 3. Wouldn't you want to make that Bad Boys 4 so you could put the number 4 in there? I think I talked about this with Alan last week, but I'm not entirely sure. But I'm still adamant on it. Bad Boys for Life should be the 4th movie. But anyway, Joe Carnahan, who is the writer and director of the movie, in an interview with IO9, he clarified that the release date delay came down to just a strict matter of scheduling between everybody to make sure the script was best before they jumped into production. And the movie is set to release January 12th, 2018. I don't know how I'm going to feel about this movie. They have Bad Boys 2 on Netflix, which I thought about watching, but I'm like, shouldn't I watch Bad Boys 1? Wouldn't that be the best option? Just watch the original one first? Ugh, I don't know. It's got 43% on Rotten Tomatoes. What is Bad Boys 2? I went to type in Bad Boys 2, and I hit the brightness button for my computer. What? Oh my god. Bad Boys 2 has a 23%. Yo, how? 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 How do you... Oh my god. How are you going to make another movie when it's that critically bad? Ugh. Anyway, the next piece of news here is there was a new trailer released for the drama Sully, based on Chelsea Sullenberger, who is the pilot who landed the plane into the Hudson and saved the lives of all the people on board. You probably heard about it. It happened, I believe it was back in 2012. But yeah, so the story doesn't just focus on that. It tells also what happens next and the investigation into the landing of the plane in the water, which threatened to end his career and his reputation as a good pilot. I'm really excited. I really want to see this movie. It looks amazing, and Tom Hanks is always good in pretty much everything he does. I don't think I've seen a bad film with Tom Hanks in it in my entire life, and Clint Eastwood is an amazing director, and if this film is good, then I think it will probably have a good chance of getting nominated for something. Alright, let me grab a drink real quick. Okay, so the next piece of news that we have here is Paramount Pictures stopped the pre-production on Mission Impossible 6 because it's currently working out the salary for Tom Cruise. Because I guess they're arguing about it for something. I think it was said that Tom Cruise got a higher salary for The Mummy and wanted a boost in his salary for Mission Impossible 6. Which is like, Tom Cruise, chill. You've been doing movies since the 80s, alright? I think you have enough money now at this point, dude. But hopefully it's just like a little bump in the road and it's already resolved and we're just hearing about this news. And the movie will get right back on track. Anyway, next piece of news here is from James Gunn. Oh man, there's a lot more news. Hang on, let me see him. Whoops. Okay, so there's about 14 to 15 more pieces of news. So I'm going to try to go through this in like the next 10 minutes. So James Gunn went onto Facebook and released some concept art from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And this stuff looks amazing. Like, I cannot wait for this movie. I can't believe it comes out less than a year away. And it's already been 2 years since I saw the original. That movie has one of the best soundtracks in cinema history. And when I say soundtrack, I mean like strict music soundtrack, lyrics and everything, not just instrumentals like you hear in Star Wars, like the Star Wars theme. When I personally speak about soundtracks, I'm speaking about when they bring songs in to enhance a movie. Like they did with Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad soundtrack is amazing. I listen to pretty much every single song that's on that soundtrack at least once a day, if not more, when I listen to music. I go back and forth on music and podcasts right now. It's a little weird because I'm trying to listen to podcasts because I have like a bunch of backed up episodes, but at the same time I'm trying to watch Netflix when I'm at home, so it's a little weird trying to get everything done. But I'm gonna get there, guys. Don't worry. But yeah, so Suicide Squad is probably like, it's hard to do this because it's a podcast. So if we have Guardians of the Galaxy like at the top, Suicide Squad is probably maybe a 75% for soundtrack. And then we're talking strictly themes and instrumentals. Star Wars, the original, all the way at the top. Nothing is even close to that. Anyway, on to the next piece of news. So, Hugh Jackman shared a video of himself shaving to celebrate the end of shooting the Wolverine 3. And the caption said, "My wife will be very happy because he finally won't have the mutton chops he was sporting for the movie." So yeah, I think it's cool that he's going to have mutton chops for the movie because that'll be like what Old Man Logan actually looks like. Not the weird beard that he had in those set pictures that were released a couple weeks or months ago, whenever it was. But yeah. So on to the next piece of news is there's going to be a Max Steel live action movie, and Ben Winchell is going to be starring as Max. Let me look up who this guy is real quick. Got Ben Winchell. Okay, yeah, I could see this guy's Max. The only other big thing he's been in is a Disney thing. It says Max Steel's supposed to come out this year. What's the release date on this movie, and how come there hasn't... Oh, there has been a trailer. Max Steel... No, that's not what I'm looking for. Da-da-da-da-da. The main character. Okay, but what's the main character's name? Like, is the main character's name just Max Steel? I guess the main character's name is just Max Steel. And I watched the 2000 TV series, which, being a kid, I thought was really good. I don't remember anything about it, though. Okay, so maybe. Hmm. The protagonist, named Josh McGrath, is that who he's playing? No, he's playing Max McGrath, so they changed it a little bit. And his alien companion, Steel. He was adopted by his father's best friend, after his parents died. Uh, so it's not. So they're changing a lot of it because. Huh. So he basically gets. Wow, I just realized I've taken a lot of time just focusing on this one thing. But sorry, I've just been trying to like figure it all out as it goes. But so basically, it says that Josh McGrath, who turns into Max Steel, gets infected by these nano machines, and when they run out of energy, they start to die, which causes Josh to die. And in order to save Josh, his stepdad submits him to a high proportion of transphasic energy, which in the show is nicknamed T-Juice, and which is what the machines need to survive. And with that high dose, it saves his life and it gives him superpowers. So, yeah, it's not an alien? Oh, that's weird. It says as Josh, he has brown eyes and blonde hair. As Max, he has blue eyes and brown hair. That's pretty interesting. So, this trailer, let's see what it's all about. I was a person who liked the original TV series, so I'll let you know if I actually like it. Seems interesting. Oh, damn. He said, why does everybody in this town know more about my dad than I do? What the heck? Okay, suit is one of those CGI dumb suits. Oh man, this little steel robot's kind of funny, but Steel is so I guess Steel is his suit. Hmm. Oh, okay, so it comes out October 14th. And how did I not hear about this movie until now? Like, it doesn't really make any sense. But it said you said go turbo? I don't really know what that meant. But I guess it meant something. Huh. But yeah, I don't know why they said that the robot was like what infected him, because it's not. The robot basically teaches him how to use his powers. But yeah, that did not look good at all. The robot was funny, but nothing else looked good. Anyway, on to the next piece of news. Finally, after spending a ridiculous amount of time on Max Steel, because I loved the original TV show as a kid. So Gareth Edwards cleared up what Rogue One stands for, and it's basically that Jyn Erso is the Rogue One, but then also the call sign Rogue One, but then also the mission Rogue One. So yeah, it means a bunch of different things. Um, okay, on to the next piece of news is The Rock's role in the Fast and the Furious movies. It came out that it was originally intended to be for Tommy Lee Jones, which is a little interesting because the the Rock's part is like really involved. Tommy Lee Jones could not have done that. I don't know how that even like came about, but I guess it did somehow. Okay, so we got the first set photos of Thor and Loki a few days ago, or maybe about a week ago, and it showed the brothers were in New York City, and Anthony Hopkins was there as a hobo, like just for some random reason. But nobody really knew what happened to Odin, so a lot of people are speculating that something that happened towards the end of Thor: The Dark World caused Odin to become this, and now it's what? 4, it's gonna be 4 years since that happened. So has Loki just been disguising himself as Odin this whole time, or has he been Loki on the throne? I think that's a big question that kind of needs to be answered, because it was just left out there. Okay, the next piece of news is that the heck? My news is all mixed up right now. So I feel like we talked about this, but apparently Zendaya is Mary Jane in Spider-Man. It's not official. I'm pretty sure it's not officially confirmed by any studios or anything, but it was reported by, I believe it was the rapper THR or somebody. Now, the only reason I don't like this is because they have her as a character named Michelle. And I understand you have to cast your characters to keep them secret, but if you're going to cast Mary Jane, wouldn't you just cast Mary Jane outright, just like you cast Peter Parker outright and Aunt May outright? Like, it would make a lot of sense to just make her Mary Jane. So a rumor that I heard was that it's going to kind of be like Mary Jane from Spider-Gwen, the comic series that takes place in an alternate universe, or an alternate Earth. Literally the same exact thing I just said there. But the rumor is that Michelle is her actual name, and then Mary Jane is her stage name, which I don't like. That's the only part about Zendaya playing the character that I don't like. But I also didn't like really much of Zendaya's acting. And the only thing I've seen her in, which is that weird Disney show, Shake It Off, or something like that. It's about dancing or something. She was also young though, so she's probably gotten much more experience now. So I'm going to give it a shot. Of course, it's Spider-Man. Tom Holland was great as Spider-Man in Civil War. Anyway, the next piece of news is Adam West and Burt Ward are coming back in an animated Batman 66 movie. And it basically came from the success of the Batman 66 comics, which have been a big thing recently. Like, people are getting Batman 66 issues left and right. They're getting Wonder Woman 77 or whenever the Wonder Woman television show came out. Wonder Woman television show came out in 75. So yeah, Wonder Woman 75. Or whatever date they decided to use. I don't know. Oh, so apparently there was a Wonder Woman TV movie. So the TV movie for Wonder Woman from 2011 says that she's leading a triple life, running a large corporation out of costume and fighting crime in costume in one identity. How does that mean she's leading a triple life? That doesn't make any sense. But she was played by Adrian Palicki, who is beautiful. Anyway, back to the news at hand. So there's going to be a Batman 66 animated movie, and they released a little trailer about it, and Robin goes, "Holy dessert," or something like that when they escape from whatever peril they're in, because they were on a TV dinner. And it's going to have Burt Ward, Adam West, and Julie Newmar, but obviously you can't have a lot of the other cast because they were all a lot older than these people were. Anyway, on to the next piece of news. Captain Marvel is basically at a short list for directors right now. We're looking at Nikki Caro, Leslie Linka Glatter, and that's about it. Oh, wait, what? Oh, and Lorene Scafaria. And those are the three directors right now that they're looking at. So it's interesting that they're deciding to go with a female director for the female-led superhero movie and a black director for the Black Panther movie. I just think it's interesting, why not get one of them for something else? I mean, I don't care. It's still nice because Ryan Coogler is an amazing director. I think he's going to do a great job, but it's just interesting. You get an African-American director to direct the Black Panther movie and a woman director to direct. We're looking at a woman director to direct Captain Marvel, the first woman-led superhero movie from Marvel. I just find it kind of funny. But, either way, I think it's going to be good, because basically anything Marvel puts out is amazing at this point. So, on to the next piece of news is, the trailer for this movie called Manchester by the Sea. I don't know any of the characters' names, but the main character is played by Casey Affleck, who has to return back to his hometown after his brother dies, and he has to take care of his nephew, because his brother made him the legal guardian. And wow, this trailer was so moving. It, like, I almost teared up watching this trailer. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how much emotion there just was in this one trailer. It was so great. I'm serious. This should, like, actually get nominated for something. It's opening on November 18th. So hopefully that will allow it to get nominated for something. Okay. So, next story here has a bit of spoilers for Transformers 5, but I'm sure nobody cares about that. So, according to Joe Blow, Transformers 5 is going to have Optimus Prime go back to Cybertron. And he's going to have to fix all of Cybertron, so he'll need an artifact that he's only able to find on Earth. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyway, on to the next piece of news. Oh, right, here we go. So, at the end of Captain America's Civil War, and this is a spoiler here because the movie's been out less than 6 months, Steve Rogers basically gives up his shield and breaks his friends out of prison, and then goes into hiding in Wakanda. And everybody was confused, like, why is Captain America hiding? It doesn't make sense, he's Captain America. But Joe and Anthony Russo confirmed to the Huffington Post that when Cap dropped his shield at the end of the movie, it was the symbol for him giving up his superhero mantle. So Steve Rogers is no longer Captain America. So who's he gonna be in Infinity War when that comes around? Like, that's... I don't know. He could be director Steve Rogers, and there's some version of Steve Rogers where he's like the head of the Avengers, but he doesn't participate in the Avengers. Anyway, I think it's going to be really hard for them to use Captain America without Chris Evans. Just at this point, everybody feels like he is the character. So when you throw somebody else in that role, like, it's different when you're writing a comic, because pretty much you're automatically connected to this character if you like reading Captain America. Like, you're already connected to the character of Captain America, and then you're also already connected to the person who's taking over the mantle. If Anthony Mackie or Sebastian Stan take over the mantle, we're not really connected to those characters yet. We've only seen them in 2 movies, pretty much. Anthony Mackie was slightly in, Sebastian Stan was in 3 movies, but in 1 movie he was the villain. Anyway, Anthony Mackie was in 2.5. Not even 2.5. He was in, like, a few scenes in Avengers 2. But, yeah, on to the next piece of news now. So, Josh Boone, who's working on New Mutants, has gotten his duo who wrote The Fault in Our Stars, Scott Neustadter and Michael H. Weber, to pen the script for New Mutants. So hopefully that's going to be good. I think it definitely sounds like that's a good deal because they worked on The Fault in Our Stars with him, and that came out to be a very successful movie. I don't really know that much about their filmography, any of them, but I think if they can make a movie as successful as The Fault in Our Stars, they can definitely make a New Mutants movie great. Like, I know The Fault in Our Stars is apparently an amazing book, but the movie looked really cheesy, just to me as a person. I don't. That's the last bit of news, but I don't think there's really anything else I wanted to touch on. I don't. No, I think that's really it. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this solo episode that I had going on, because I've been sick and stuff and busy. But if you did, just leave a comment on the Facebook page. We're at the Two Idiots Movies podcast on Facebook and YouTube. Two Idiots Movies at gmail.com. I think that's the email. We're also on Spreaker and hopefully on iTunes soon. But yeah, leave us a comment somewhere and let us know if you like the solo thing, because maybe I'll do more of that. I was thinking of starting my own podcast. When I say my own podcast, this is my own podcast, but like one where it's just me and it's just me speaking. Like, basically like a video diary, but a podcast. Because it's like, I'm not speaking to anybody, but if there are listeners, somebody's listening, so I'm speaking to people. But it's just like to get it out. Because I've been feeling really homesick since I got back to school. But that's other news. We don't need to worry about that. Anyway, follow the Facebook page, YouTube, Spreaker, share with your friends. Let's grow the channel. And, yeah, as always, I hope you all enjoyed. Well, actually, I really hope you enjoyed, since it was just me by myself. But, yeah. Yell at Alan. Tell him to come back for next week. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.